Hello guys, today we are here to discuss about some serious issues that's happening in RRBs. Let's begin up the show and welcome to the channel guys. The first thing I want to talk about is the discrimination that presently happening on the RRBs and on the RRB employees. I don't know why and what's the reason behind this, but we are doing the same job as that the commercial banks employees do, but I don't know why there is a lot of discrimination about RRBs, and there are some RRBs which are really profit making, and even they are getting discriminated to. This is not at all a fair practice. The first thing I want to talk about is there is no implementation of 11th bipartite settlement at in RRBs. That is one of the biggest blunder that's happening in the industry, because there's a lot of youngsters who have been recently cleared the examination and willing to join in the bank, but there is no implementation of 11th bipartite settlement in RRBs. When they saw their pay slips, they will always feel like why this is happening to me, happening to us. That is the biggest blunder, and that's the reason why they will surely leave the organization and will go to the commercial banks to get their life. Because of this discrimination, the employees will surely try to go for another organization, which leading to the potential loss, which leading to the potential capability of the organization, because this is not at all a right practice. So the first thing I want to talk about is the 11th bipartite settlement is not settled in RRB set, and on April 1st, which we call as a Fool's Day, the government of India again fooled the RRB employees with their GO on implementation of 11th bipartite settlement in RRB. So I'm going to show you the direct to all the POs who are about to join, and you people must see this what's happening in the RRB, because this is not the fair practice that's recently now going on, and there may be a lot more discrimination in the future, we don't know. So I want to show you guys what is really happening. So the first thing I want to show you is the GO which was issued by the government of India recently on 1st April 2021, which fooled all RRB employees. So here is the first thing they given is the revision of pay and allowances of RRB employees under provision blah 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 RRB Act 1976. So but there should not be much discrimination on RRBs, because we are almost like doing the same as that of commercial bank employees do, and we are understaffed for the business what we are doing, and we are doing good. And so here the quick through what they gave, pay scale and year announcement should be same as that of commercial bank employees, so it's a fine thing. And they also mentioned that HRA and CCA should also be same as like nationalized bank employees. That's a good thing. And here comes the biggest part. Here the government of India will always divide the allowances into two parts. That is, part one, it's a mandatory, and part two is not a mandatory one. Based on the decision of the sponsored bank, they can implement. In part 2 allowances, it may be decided by the sponsor bank in consultation with the management. Absolutely, the management of RRB is the chairman and the general managers. They are part of the sponsored bank, so they will do as like the sponsor bank do, and sponsor bank will always treat us like the slaves. So it's a different matter, and the part 2 allowances will not be implemented. It's a very little bit of chance, and in very few, maybe counted on the fingers, like 2 or 3 RRBs may implement this. The second thing is, here comes the best part. The other allowances or benefits introduced in the 11 BPS for the first time will be examined once a decision is taken on restructuring of RRBs. And okay, here comes the best part, that is the restructuring of RRBs. As of now, we don't know what's happening in RRBs, because there is no clear instructions about it to us, and we don't know what's happening behind. There are some people saying like that got the sponsored banks got the instructions from the government to what to do about this, but we don't know. As of now, we don't know and what's going to happen to us. Possibly it could be a chance that the all RRBs in the state should be merged and should work as a single entity. Or there could be another decision like all RRBs throughout the India should be brought under a single holding company. It could be a good decision, because RRBs will get a national presence, and it will also attract the interest of the public to deposit the money in that, because they will feel more it is safe, and it is also will be like they will get the services throughout the India. So it is one of the good point in case it is implemented, and because of the service provided by the RRBians, it will be like a too good for them to market their products if RRB presence is throughout the India. That's a good thing, but we don't know what's happening, and there may be a chances that the government may merge the RRBs into the sponsored bank, and we don't know what's happening. That's the Modi ji only know that. And the next thing is, here comes the best part. All the POs who are joining should see what's happening here. This may not be of your point, but it is what happening to your seniors. So here comes the best part about the discrimination comes here. So see the biggest point. The payment on account of arrears of the wage revision will be made in two equal installments at 6 months interval. The first installment to be released in the last quarter of financial year. This is the worst part that I ever seen, because this is the first time the government has released this kind of notification. I really felt very bad by seeing this, because this clearly says that the arrears should be divided into the two installments of equal, and the first installment should be paid in the last quarter of 21-22, which means in March. It would be like in January, it would be like in January or February or March of 2022. Absolutely, from here it is almost like the end of the financial year. That's a bad thing, and that's the first installment, and thereafter the second installment will be released after the 6 months. This is the worst part, which means we will get in the ninth month in 2022, which is one of the baddest thing that I have seen. This is the biggest disappointment for the RRB employees, because they worked hard, they will work hard. There's a lot of RRBs which are making the profits too, at least. Yes, because it's the right of the employee to get the arrears, because on that arrears the government will not pay you any kind of interest or anything. We are just putting our lump sum amount in their hands without gaining anything from it. That is a bad thing. Based on this circular, we can say that the wage revision, the basic pay may get revised in this month or in next month, but the arrears for the employees may not get up to almost like 1 year. It's a bad thing. And so here the RRBs may issue an order indicating revised pay scale in respect of each category of employees of seeking the approval. So the RRB should get the approval so to revise the basic pay for all the employees. So this should happen, and we don't know sponsor bank how many days it will take, how many months it will take to revise it, but this is the worst decision. So guys, the people who are joining, especially the PO, the young bankers, if you really think what is the future of RRBs, this shows about the future of RRBs, because this is how the government of India, this is how the sponsored banks are treating us like slaves. This is a bad thing that I really don't like so far, because so guys, this is the thing happening in RRBs about the 11th bipartite settlement. This is fully a bad thing so far, and based on this, the union has been given the circular. All India Regional Rural Bank Employees Association has given a new circular for their comrades, stating that the government of India order, because here it shows clearly HR and CCA and BPDA, stagnation increment, special allowances, and everything will be same as like NCB. NCB here stands for National Commercial Banks. So here, as I said, there will be two allowances, part 1 and part 2. Part 1 is a mandatory one. It should be implemented along with the revision, and the part 2 it should be decided by the sponsored bank, and absolutely the sponsored bank will not care think about it. So new allowances introduced next will be decided later on issuance of order of restructuring. We don't know about what's happening to its structure, so we can't comment on that. Arrears, this is the best part. You can see that the first arrear will be paid on 1/1/2022 to 31/3. What a stupid lame thing. And second is after 6 months from the first one, absolutely it will be like 9 months. So in absolutely ninth month, and the next revision, that's it, all the bipartite settlement revision will commence from the November 2022. By then also I don't think so that we will get the arrears. That's a serious issue that's happening here now in RRBs. That's a bad thing so far. And the people who are about to join, this is what happening here. And so the discrimination here gives a detailed circular. They say like we need to go to some kind of what kind of strikes and everything, blah blah, but there nothing will happen, guys. No one can stand against the Indian government and their stubbornness. So we should feel the heat. So the sponsor here clearly shows that the discriminatory decision to pay arrear in installments and deferred way has been taken reportedly on pressure of the sponsored bank and RRB management. Here the RRB management is nothing but the chairman and the GMs from the sponsored bank itself. So don't think like the RRB management is some like the employees of RRBs doing. Now we don't do any kind of management. We always implement what they do. They are the dictators and we are the slaves, most of whom are against the payment of any area. So talent and that, but they don't care about RRBs, because who cares about the RRBs? Because we are not the chairman. We, the employee of that bank, will never be the chairman or GM of the bank. So who cares? So someone comes from the outside and do the nonsense in our bank. So this is happening, guys, and this is about, and very much disappointed to it is very much disappointing to every RRBian. So guys, this is about this. Thank you, guys. Thank you for watching. Peace and out.